the elements that do come with circumstances of becoming a widow or a widower are definitely not circumstances you prayed for or wished upon yourself, but the repercussions are great and have a massive impact on people who are directly and indirectly impacted. So today, as Uganda is joining the rest of the world to mark International Widows Day, this is a day that is dedicated to recognizing the experiences of millions of women who have lost their spouses and often have faced unique social, economic, as well as legal challenges. According to Uganda's own commemorative concept note, many widows continue to grapple with property grabbing. They also do grapple with disinheritance. It's a conversation that I was having with friends of mine over the course of the weekend, that some of our cultural rituals, norms and customs are actually aiding some of the problems that widows are facing in present day time. There's also the gender-based violence, poverty and social inclusion, and limited access to justice. All these combined do bring a persistent challenge despite constitutional protections and laws that are intended to safeguard inheritance and property rights. Now, as a country, we are reflecting on this year's theme. It is very important for us to remain positive, but also ask ourselves the critical questions. Are the laws that we have in the land, are they actually protecting those that they're intended to protect? And what is the cost of that protection? And at what point do they receive the protections of those laws? Is it 1 year later or 39 years later? To help us unpack these issues, we're joined by two guests. To my extreme left, I do have Lucy Otto, who is the Assistant Commissioner, and this is for Family Affairs at the Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development. Good morning to you, Lucy.
Good morning, viewers. Good morning, Priscilla. Glad to meet all of you this morning.
Now, Lucy sits on this table as one who's overseeing programs and policies that are aimed at strengthening vulnerable groups, especially widowed women, and advancing social justice, also bringing a personal perspective to this discussion as one who is a lived experience. Now, speaking of lived experience, we do have Eva Kaiser, who's joining us on this table also. She is a widow and she'll be sharing with us a story of reflection as one that has had to navigate loss, has had to navigate all the challenges I mentioned above around family, disowning you, then there's disinheritance, then there's land grabbing and all the other social challenges. Eva, good morning to you and you're most welcome.
Good morning, Priscilla. You're welcome.
Thank you so much. Now, I'm going to start with you, Eva, as we're sitting here today wanting to reflect on Widows Day that is recognized internationally. We must recognize you as a widow yourself. We would like to hear about your story and what has been the journey as you have been wearing this new hat of a widow.
Thank you, Madam Lucy. Actually, I never wished to be a widow because the widows I saw, more especially how my mother grew as a widow. Their land was grabbed in Jinja there, Budondo, Wiala. I hated being a widow. I never wished it. But when it came to me, that is the moment I began crying. I told Lord, I cannot manage this. If my grandmother could not manage and land was taken, how am I going to manage? Kamini. As if it was the beginning of the land grabbers of the clan. I was weak because I was a patient who was treating a patient who died and left me alive, still weak. They knew I was also going to die. They hurried, they got some portion of land, they sold it. On realizing it, they began tormenting me, stoning the house, doing a lot of wicked things, coming around my home, defecating in the compound, spoiling the home. They wanted me to go away. They told the in-law who was helping, leave that woman and we harm her. She goes out and we own the land. But my in-law stood firm, told me, be firm, I will support you. After warning him failing, they had to come and imprison my in-law They charged him murder, assault, took him to police. When they took him to police, I knew at night they were coming for me because in Bududa they murder people. And they had murdered many people in our area. And the chairman, LC3, was supporting the clan people. The chairman, LC1, was supporting. Everybody was supporting. I knew night I was dying. I rushed to police. Cried, telling the OC station, Buchi guy, help me. If you don't release this man today, tomorrow I will be dead. And you know the situation in Ibumusi. Come to my rescue. Actually, the OC called me, took me aside. He took steps. When he reached my home, he saw things were worse because at first they had gone to bribe him with 500, 700, he refused. He also began crying. That OC police station was called Lopie Kupol. He also had to learn he grew as an orphan. He began tearing. He told, do you have some transport? Run to CPS. I'm following you to meet the DPC. When I reached Central Police Bududa, the DPC was not there, but the officer addressed the issue to OC station. OC station asked me, what is it? I explained. They got concerned. They had to release my in-law as fast as possible. They said, you can keep her safe at night. Tomorrow they began the case. When we began the case that journey, the officer attached me to Redeem International. Call these people, they may help you. You're not going to manage these people. They have a lot of money and they have joined arms where there are political leaders, Chairman LC3, Chairman LC2, Chairman LC1, plus the relatives. You are not going to manage as a widow. Call these people. When I called the Redeem International, our officer responded positively. When they began, I was just skins and bones. I was on ARVs. And even I could forget taking those drugs. The situation became worse. These other children got scared and took off. I remained with this young one. But when Redeem International came in, they began. Some were arrested, others took off to Kenya.
Okay. Now, Lucy, this is a situation that is common for so many families here in Uganda, especially in, those regions where you do have women being received or looked at as inferior. Beyond the commemoration of International Widows' Day, what should Ugandans understand about widowhood that is often overlooked?
Thank you, Priscilla and viewers. I'm glad you have joined us to commemorate International Widows' Day today. It's a very important day for all of us in recognition of the fact that widows are there. They are vulnerable and they need our protection. Though we have various categories of widows, some are poor, some are rich, some are educated, some are not educated, but they are in the families. What we are advocating for is that even as a widow, they still have their rights to be protected. And at times, they can't protect their rights by themselves. All the stakeholders have to come in to ensure that widows continue to live a dignified life by supporting them socially, psychologically, emotionally, and economically. And that rests with the family. The family institution is a fallback position for everyone, including widows. So on this day today, we want to create more awareness to everyone that the plight of the widows are in our hands. And we cannot do it alone as Ministry of Gender. We need the whole government approach because their needs vary. Health, education, economic empowerment, social protection, etc., depending on the category of the widow we have.
You have mentioned something that they should have a fallback plan. The primal fallback plan is family. But from the experiences, and especially the one that Eva has shared with us, it's the very same family that she should have fallen back on for help and support. That was the one that was trying to push her out of her husband's property, take her land, and also her children be separated from her. What are the concrete interventions at ministerial level that are being used to actually reduce the plight that widows go through, such as land grabbing and legal protections?
Okay. As stated earlier on, the family is the basic institution for protection of everyone. That's why when we talk about social protection, the family is at the core. Okay. In fact, traditionally, you just track back. Traditionally, everybody belongs to the family. And after losing your husband, in this case, it is the family to take care of you. But instead, it's the family abusing you. There's a breakdown in the traditional safety nets that we used to have that would hold the family tight together and offer protection to orphans and vulnerable children and widows. So this put us to task, even as Ministry of Gender, and that is why we are really grappling with a lot of things, like the National Family Policy. We have the draft National Family Policy. It will cover issues in relation to this. We are going to make sure the issues of the widows are covered in the National Family Policy and the action plan. Okay.
All right, Eva, as we're coming to the close of this conversation, for one, the widow that is watching you today and is being encouraged by your story, and two, to the other leaders who are supposed to help you as widows to really have a continued better living in society, what message do you have to them?
The message I have to them is, leaders, because you don't know what will happen to your family tomorrow. Today I'm a widow, you never know you never know your family what will be tomorrow. So you put in that shoe. Support widows, support with orphans, because that is what the Lord wants. Let us be human. Let us not look at the property of the people who deceased to take and become rich. And also, I say the government should put in more effort for these lawyers and the officers and the organizations like Redeem, because without Redeem International prosecuting these people in court, and they pleaded guilty, they would have not stopped.
Okay. All right. As we close, of course, she has mentioned that government needs to put in a lot. Lucy, what has government done to protect widows in our communities?
Thank you, Priscilla. Government of Uganda has done a lot to protect widows in our society. Number one, if you look at the review of the Land Act amended, it makes provision for land ownership, the 4 categories, including getting the consent of the widows. If you want to sell, lease, or rent out land, you are supposed to get the consent of the family members, including children. So that is one protection area. Number 2, if you look at the Succession Act, the revised one, makes provision for 20% of inheritance when you lose your husband for the widow. And if that is enforced, it will not make the widow very desperate. Now, if I take you to Ministry of Gender, we have a number of programs we are implementing, like UWEP, Uganda Women's Entrepreneurship Program. In the selection criteria, priority is given to widows. Look at GROW. Still, priority is given to women investors. And other economic programs of government, even PDM, the selection criteria for PDM gives priorities to such individuals. Okay. Under social protection, we have the social assistance grant for SAGE, also covers widows. Then still under social protection, we have special enterprise grant for older persons. So widows who are 80 plus qualify to benefit from these funds. To me, the issue is we should make an affirmative action. We should be proactive and go an extra mile to make sure their issues feature in all our programs.
All right. Thank you so much, Lucy Oton. Thank you so much, Eva, for sharing your story, but also on the side of government for continuously putting in and observing protection mechanisms that should be adopted across communities in order to protect the widows. As we are commemorating International Widows Day, this is a call to action. This is a reminder that today it could be Eva, tomorrow it could be someone in your own family, and they will be faced with the wrath of the Titan. So may today's discussion remind us that widowhood is not simply a personal experience of loss. It is also a matter of right. It's a matter of justice as well as.
Viewers, I'm Judo Channel coming live from Lira City. I'm now speaking at Lira City East Division, and today we're looking at commemorating International Widows Day. And my guests are Pastor Susan Adongo on my extreme left, and next to me is Bishop Tom Abongo. They're from the Agape Bible Ministries. Yes. And today Uganda joins the rest of the world to commemorate the women, widows world over. And in northern Uganda, Agape Ministries under Bishop Tom Abongo has been seeking boreholes to support communities where widows are the most vulnerable. Bishop, could you tell me, how does a widow seeking for clean water, who has been moving for like 5 kilometers, benefit from this?
Thank you so much. I am Bishop Tom Abon of Agape Bible Ministries. In fact, as he has put the question right, we have done a lot of work in northern Uganda, and in Uganda, like we started with Balonyo. Why? Because when you go to Balonyo, there are very many widows, very many, thousands of people were killed, and we look into how we can help these widows. So we were making boreholes, at least 13 boreholes that we have made. Why? Because at least we want to better their life. When you look at the widow moving to distance, looking for water, they have different risks. Maybe drowning into the pool because others may seek to go for a river or this well, this local dug well. So we are trying to avoid them from getting all those risks. And we are not just working on water. We are looking at how can we better their living, the widows. When you look at the community, with the way community look at them, they despise them, they disown them, they do anything. We are making sure that we bring them together, we train them, we are giving them some training skills, like in tailoring. Yeah, so we would like them to have that knowledge, not just water, but also to have some skills that will help them earn a living. Yes.
Madam Pastor, we are looking at the theme for the day. Yes. Justice, divinity, and empowering women. Yes. How are these women empowered?
Good morning, viewers over there. I'm Pastor Susan of Agape Bible Ministries. This morning, the theme is to empower women, to make, the widows, to make them live a better life in the community. Community from the Bible rejected widows and orphans. So makes them to be so most vulnerable and worried people in the community. And for that reason, even if the one who was rich becomes poor in the heart. When I look at Ruth, the book of Ruth, Naomi and Ruth, when they left, first of all, your name is changed to any kind of name you are called. Prostitute, such kind of thief, because you cannot afford the basic needs that your husband used to give or provide for the family. So the name of the family where they have lost their father change. Even the children change, and also the mother of the house or mothers of the houses, their names change. It gives them not to be free in the community. What have we done as Agape Bible Ministry to enhance the empowerment and to make them still live a dignity life in the community? Number one, As my bishop said, we put boreholes so that they have free to go there and are not exercise any howling words.
How many have you sunk in the Lango?
Lango, so far, it can be more than 15 of such kind of boreholes, and in different communities where there were great loss of husbands because it is a war zone. It was a war zone. 2, with tailoring. 3, bakery. This help even the poorest mother in the community to hand living without coming to town. So we give them skills to go and manage their family issues. And we have seen many of them coming to testify how the Lord has changed them. Now, widows, if I look at Nahum and Ruth, when she went, she told everyone leaves you. You live only to you and your God and the family. There's a grabbing of properties. There is abuse. They give you any man in the community who is not worth your standard. But now we go sensitizing them to change their life, to stay in the house of God. Because in the book of Timothy says that a widow who is in the house of God is not a widow. A child who is in the house of God is not a fatherless child. So above all, we teach them the word of God to make them live in the community worth life that is credible for the society. If I talk of the society, it's our culture, it's our government, and the church. When you have these 3 things, and then you are credible, you live.
Thank you
Yes.
so much, my guests. And I now hand you back to Priscilla, who's in the studio. Judas reporting for NTV here in Lira City. Good morning.